Yes.
All right. So I want to begin my discussion with a quote from Henry Carter Bresson, who was a French photographer who pioneered in modern photojournalism and street photography between 1908 to 2004. And the quote is, "The creative act lasts but a brief moment in lighting instead of giving an intake, just long enough for you to level the camera and to trap the fleeting prey in your little box." What does that mean? Next slide. What does it mean exactly? Brenson's reflection of photography refers to every moment of a secure or scene or event that perfectly aligns with the composition of the frames and lighting. The most important factor to consider to a photo aids in creating an emotional art piece that is held in place forever. However, what is photography exactly? Next slide, please. Photography, as defined by Merriam-Webster Dictionary and Thesaurus, 11th edition, release 2020. The art or process of producing images on a sensitive surface, such as film, pictures, or charge-coupled devices, chips, by the action of light. Switch to slide 4, please. Photography allows individuals to create art by simply using a camera to capture and transform everyday moments and creations into lasting visual stories. However, what is light in photography? Next slide, please. Lighting in photography or any other art-themed creation is an integral for detecting composition, exposure, color, contrast, and emotion reflected within this process. Research from Faces and Shadow Silhouette, Light Under Light, and Top Light yield increased earlier posture negativity by the National Institute of Health in the United States. The direction of light on people art of objects reflects the brain's emotional processing before conscious processing occurs due to rapid subliminal responses through the human brain. Although, how does it benefit? It benefits by creating dimension, mood, and depth by establishing spectacle depth in order to make subjects look striking, which influence the viewer's brains to go, "Wow, this is very interesting," or pretty much just to give an emotional response. It's pretty simple. However, what are the three main categories to lights in photography? There are practically three, and I think they're all pretty interesting to go over. Next slide, please. First one is next one. Yeah. First one is natural lighting. Natural lighting is pretty much environmental based, such as the sun, moon, stars, or bioluminescent. And if you don't know what that means, it's pretty much just light coming from animals. So right there is pretty much outside. Could be an example of natural lighting. So how do photographers mainly use it? They mainly use it for capturing a setting, mood, or time of day, etc. But it's a bit. Next slide, please. Here's natural lighting is probably the best form out of the three main forms of photography lighting. However, it pretty much requires around pretty good time management with date and weather, because you may want to take a photo during the day, but today is actually pretty raining outside, so it involves pretty good time management. Next slide, please. All right. The second one is artificial lighting. Next slide, please. Artificial lighting is pretty much just man-made lighting. Think of these lights, for example, such as what else? Light bulbs. And speaking of light bulbs, this would technically be considered artificial since it's man-made. Photographers typically Typically use them when setting up mainly an indoor shot. Let's just say I want to take a picture right here. I want to get good lighting on my face, but also my back, just to perfectly highlight where I am, so it doesn't look, terrible. Alright. Which, although since artificial lighting exists, you are able to measure color temperature and also rearrange it. Next slide, please. What is color temperature? Color temperature is a metric that describes the color appearance of a source light, which is measured in Kelvin K. Kelvin K is approximately the measurement of the visual warmness or coolness of a source light, depending on how high or low the measurements are. Lower Kelvin numbers are pretty much 2000 K, which is pretty much somewhere around here, the red to yellowish, while a bluish, whitish hue is mainly around 5K, which is particularly right up here. For example, this yellow light right here would technically be considered somewhere around maybe 2000 is Kelvin K. This one would be considered around maybe 5,000 K. And this one would probably somewhere be around the middle of it. Next slide, please. There is one more, but here it is. And the last one is digital lighting. Next slide, please. Next slide. Digital lighting is any form of lighting tool or effect that enhances a frame that is done inside a software-based program or app. Such examples include Photoshop, Adobe Premiere Pro, DaVinci Resolve, or any other type of software or program that allows software-based lighting editing. Switch, next slide. Take this image, for example, that I did in Photoshop. Particularly, I'm not sure if the projector is taking as well, but the background right here is more brighter than this Pokeball right here. While using several tools, well actually there are several ways to do it in Photoshop. By adjusting the overlay and raw camera filter lighting, adjusts the color to make the Pokeball a bit more brighter while making the background a bit more darker. Because if this wasn't changed, it just looks a bit more off and a bit more weird since the foreground is darker. Well, there's more focused lighting in the background. But you mainly want to use digital lighting mainly for small little touch-ups, because using digital lighting primarily is what's the word I'm looking for? Can be a bit time-consuming and a bit more harder to produce, because let's just say this image right here, there was barely any light coming in from whatsoever. Adjusting it will probably take a long time and a bit more complicated than that. And that concludes on every single lighting category. Next slide, please. So this is lighting in photography allows an individual to enhance any form of still or moving frames in a project to create absolutely stunning works of art. Lighting in a piece of art truly makes or breaks an image, so whenever you analyze an image, to truly take your time and look at the lights being displayed.